Hey everybody, it's the end of the month, so I'm doing a review of all the books that I picked up this month. I got a handful this month. I don't always get a bunch of books, or sometimes any books really during a certain month if I'm just reading kind of other stuff that I already own, or if I get books from the library. But this month I got 5 books, and the first one, which I really enjoyed, is Evelyn Waugh's A Handful of Dust. Now, I'm a huge Waugh fan, so I think this was maybe my 10th or 11th book that I've read by him, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't his best work, but even when he doesn't do it as great of a job in some novels as he does in others, his books are still pretty good, and at least his writing's still better at its worst probably than many other people's writing at their best. I thought it was a pretty entertaining novel. I'm not a huge fan of these kind of gaudy style books that Back Bay Books puts out. I do like the feel of them though, and the sort of larger font, but I've never been a fan of these Evelyn Waugh covers. I kind of like maybe the Penguin ones better. Penguin recently did some nice hardcover ones that are very plain that I like. The book I'm reading right now is a book called At Large Not Small. It's a collection of essays by Fadiman, who is famous for being the daughter of Clifton Fadiman, and who also wrote a, I think, pretty famous book called Ex Libris, which is probably sort of this is probably the spiritual sequel to that, and I really like that book. Ex Libris is all about literature. This is a little bit about that, but it kind of covers other topics as well, so I really like this one. I wish that she wrote more books, but I think she teaches, because I think she's written 4 books, and I think only 2 of them are collections of essays, so I'm going to be sad when I finish this, because there won't be much more material to read, but I'm enjoying it so far. Now, at the local bookstore here, when I was buying a book, I think I was buying Stoner there a few weeks ago, there was an option where you could select different bookmarks. So I selected Demian by Hermann Hesse, which I wasn't familiar with. In fact, I haven't really read I haven't read any of his work actually, come to think of it. But one of the clerks there really recommended this book, so I decided to buy a copy of it, and I had it sent to me, and I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm planning on, I'm traveling this week, so this will probably be my travel book during the course of the week. The next book that I picked up is Draft Number 4 by John McPhee, which is all about the writing process. Now, McPhee, of course, is a pretty famous author. He's been writing for a really long time now, who I think is probably most famous for his kind of nature writing. So a number of years ago, I read a book that he wrote called Encounters with the Archdruid, which I thought was a really good book, and I've always been meaning to read more books by him, and I think he's written something like 24 books. So I saw this at the bookstore at the San Francisco Public Library, which is where I picked up a couple of the other books that I got this month, and I'm hoping to read it in the near future. The last book I picked up was actually, I didn't buy it, I was just at the local library here in town, and they just had a book card of free books, which I guess are discarded books, so I picked up this book called The Deadbeat, which is all about obituaries, and so I want to read it, but I also don't want to be too depressed, but we'll see what happens. I'll probably just plug through it, and, you know, it might be, sometimes gallows humor can be entertaining, but I don't like going through too much of it, but I'll probably read this one after I read the other ones first, if I end up getting to it. Alright, so that's it for this month. Maybe I'll see you guys next month, or in a future video here soon.